Hold up, everybody. We got GMX OG in the building. Shout out to GMX OG.
Thank you for inviting me on, man. You guys are just killing it. Flow, the chemistry. It's refreshing. So great work. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Good to have you on here. So how's your week been?
GMX.
It's been, I'm definitely staying busy. How about you guys? How's your week been?
Oh, it's always just a growing week.
Yep, a grower's life. It's like most growers live it like a week at a time.
Yeah, I hear ya. My kids actually, I got older kids. I know some of you guys have younger kids. But my oldest started high school, so they're doing in person now, and my youngest is started middle school, so they're doing that hybrid thing. So I've been around a little bit more, doing that maintaining of the day to day for that, but also just trying to stay busy in the garden.
Yeah, you gotta take care of the kids, man.
And just the day crop stuff too. Yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah. So how did that last harvest come out?
It was straight. I heard you guys talk about the East Coast Sour Diesel. Shout out to Lorax for his preservation project on that front. I didn't keep any cuts from it. It was definitely solid. I'm older, I was like, I grew up in the 90s. I remember that Sour Diesel. And it was a little bit that I remember. But it's still frosty, and it was definitely the biggest yielder of all the strains that I was growing in that series. So, I didn't keep it around. But I am looking forward to another cut, the real cut, not the East Coast cut, the Sour Diesel original. Doggo, actually, I'm sure if you guys follow him on Instagram, you can see that he had some beans from that. So he's working on something with that. So I'm hopefully going to get that cut in my garden as well.
Oh man, lucky. And I know what you're going through because
before we get further into it, go ahead and reintroduce yourself to anybody that doesn't know about you. Tell people who you are, what you do, and everything like that. Let's start from the beginning.
Let's go.
Okay. Well, my name is GMX. You can find me on Instagram at GMXOG, part of the Ocean Grown team. I've been growing for 15 years. My first cut I grabbed was up north in Oakland. And then shortly after that, shout out to that. So, and it was like everybody else. They said some CFL light bulbs. It was very rudimentary, basic type of grow. And then eventually, I moved back east. I grew up on the East Coast. And then I just started growing more and more from that point on.
Do you remember
and
the
then
cut?
In 2000, I don't remember the cut actually, and I wish I did.
Some light green.
It was definitely something a familiar cut that you would know now. I just don't remember.
Yeah.
And then I moved back east. A couple of years later, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, so that was where I really wanted to up my game in terms of gardening and investing into better gardening equipment and genetics. So I was doing that for 4 or 5 years, and then fast forward to 2016, I joined Ocean Grown Seeds, and that's when I stopped doing pollen chucking and started doing more of the true breeding, the selective breeding, and the creation of my flagship, my backbone to a lot of my hybrids, which is the Rosy Kush.
Dope. With multiple sclerosis, I got a friend in Oakland that has that also, and she smokes a lot. And I was always trying to get her to get on CBD, like some more heavier CBD instead of just weed off the street. But she really didn't. Women sometimes they hard headed. They just used to doing what they're doing. But did the CBD ever help you, like in a major way?
I mean, not in a major way. I went through the ringer. It was a long time ago. It was back like in 2009 when I first got diagnosed. So I went through the whole traditional pharmaceutical industry where you got the shots and I did everything pretty much except for doing straight pharmaceutical painkillers and the whole steroid stuff. But I did the whole daily injections for 6 months. And eventually I did get more into the cannabis and aspect of using it with autoimmune diseases. And then, probably like 2014, 2015 is when I really got into the whole CBD thing. I didn't really ever really see any real effects using CBD, to be honest, just for me. I know it's more of mellow. I think you could, traditionally you could probably add it to like a joint or a L with, regular THC cannabis, and maybe you may get some relaxation or some kind of muscle relaxer. But
like a 1-to-1.
Like a 1-to-1. So, I like to work with one too. And I think it is useful for a lot of other things besides, pain relief. I think it's good for, as you know, like Charlotte's Web and for like Parkinson's and other diseases. So I definitely think there's a use for it. But in terms of pain, I think THC is definitely where it's at.
Really? Is that what really gave you like your introduction into growing right there? Like, did this problem lead you into like wanting to grow your own medicine at some point, or were you growing prior to this?
I was growing prior to it, but it was more of like hobby, just for fun. You know what I mean? Maybe just like cut down like half of your budget instead of grabbing it, off the street. You could just grow some. You know what I mean? Where it wasn't as important. And then after the diagnosis, I definitely wanted to grow more because I just was I was smoking a lot more for obvious reasons. And so it was obviously, the financial toll. So that's why I really wanted to step it up. And I just thought it was like, after I grew it, good stuff, I was like, wow, this is way better than, the stuff from the local caregiver, or from, so.
Looking back, if you could remember, I know it's probably hard to remember because this is kind of fairly new, but when you said the THC really helps you with your pain, do you remember like what terpenes was in the THC that really helped? Like, because I know like some THC you'll smoke like, and I have a headache or something, and it'll just like, or a knee pain, and then I could really feel my knee just throb and just boom, 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 and that's not the right strain I was smoking. So was it like a certain strain that really helped with the pain?
Yeah, absolutely. A friend of mine up north, actually, in South Bay, she asked about it too because her friend just got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis as well, and she's like, "Oh, I think back in the day you were talking about you growing Master Kush, which could be the strain that I got up north, but it was definitely the Hindu Kushes, it was the OG Kushes, all that was, for me at least, I felt that was the best for the pain relief, especially compared to like your traditional painkillers that you would get from the pharmacy. So I always thought the OGs was the best in terms of pain relief, and then a lot of the sativas I enjoyed as an artist too. I'm a graphic designer and went to art school, so I always liked the sativa dominant strains as well, just because of that daytime effect. So
I love
for
sativa,
me, it's definitely sativa, daytime for like reading or just relaxing, watching whatever, and then nighttime definitely the more heavy stuff, which for me is the OGs, and that stuff was more for pain relief.
Okay, Kushes is good for pain.
OG rules the world.
Yeah, really.
I'm definitely an OG person too. So another thing I noticed is you made a transition into the LED life. Which lights are you using for the people who haven't got a chance to see it?
It's all HLG over here, so that's what I'm using.
Can't beat them.
I like them a lot.
Which one?
I started with the small ones, just the 100 HLG 100s for my breeding chamber. I have a 2x3 breeding chamber, and I had just like a 600 in there before, and then I would always turn it down to 300 watts. So with this, with the new HLGs at the time, which seems like 3 years ago, it really helped. So I just put 2 of those in. So I cut it down from 300 to 200, and I was pretty much getting a pretty similar stock in terms of the seed development. Not perfect. I think you need a little bit more power, in my opinion, but it's definitely close enough. And the things worked out well. So I started with that, and then I moved from the 600 HPSs to the HLG 300s, which I got with the Med Growers discount, which I saved so much money. Like I saved like $700 using that discount code. So it worked out, And then I just recently went back to the HLG 100s to replace the T5s that I was using. So
yeah, I really like those 300s. Those are
you guys using HLG too, or what are you guys using?
That's all I have.
Oh yeah, HLG or nothing.
Yep, got the 600s. Got a Scorpion, 600s, 650s, old 550s.
Yeah. What made you go with the 300s versus just going with the 550s?
Ceiling height. That was my concern.
Okay.
I know you can turn them down. And my space at the time, I kind of wish that I did go with the larger light, because I'm now thinking that I need 2 of the 300s over each quadrant that I'm using them for. So I have 4 lights, and there's like a 7x9 canopy. And I think if I had 4 of those, 500s or whatever, the 550s, and just turn them down, it would probably serve. Because I think there's 285 at the wall with the HLG 300. So I think I need a little bit more light. So I do have I put back in the 2 600s as like the lightsabers in the middle. So there'll be a little bit of side lighting as well. So this next season, I'm really looking forward to using all the power that I have. So see how that goes.
Is that for flower or veg?
That's for the flower room.
Okay.
And veg, you said you replaced the T5s with the 100s, the HLG 100s?
Yeah, with the 100s, yep.
How many you use for
and
like a 4x4?
It's a 2x4 veg tray. 2x4 veg tray. So I currently use 2 100s on that, which is not enough. So I actually have the other section of the room. I have 2 little 2x3 sections where they have 2 65 HLG 65s, and I'm already noticing that the way it's set up, that it's way too much light penetration. So I'm actually thinking about going back to the 2-foot T5s just for those small little seedlings. I'm noticing some issues with light intensity when it comes to clones, baby clones, and for seedlings with the HLG. It's just too bright, and
a lot of light.
Yeah, and unless you have enough ceiling space, it's just like you can have those HLGs blasting if you have 8 feet, but with 2 feet, it's just too much intensity in my opinion. So I'm actually thinking about going back to the T5s for that little section, and then just for the baby seedlings, and then for the main 2x4 veg tray, I'll put in those 65s just to have a little bit more light.
Yeah, because those HLGs definitely do put off a lot of light. So for the people who haven't actually been over to your page yet, can you explain your setup? It seems you're running some kind of drain to waste system, but you got your own little special twist on it. So can you go into that for us?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm running pretty much the Veda Vision method, which is just the cocoa and the flood and drain. So that's where I'm pretty much doing for majority of all the growing. But I do have underneath that one little 65, I have 2 racks. And that's my little propagation station. And those actually have those 65s. And so I have these little flood and drain, I call them flood tubs. I pretty much took a 7-gallon mixing mud pan. They're like these plastic little, pans that you can get to mix whatever, whether it's concrete.
Yeah.
And then I just put the flood and drain fittings into that, and then I just stuck it into the 27-gallon tote. So it's the same idea with the flood and drain, and then the 2x4 is the flood and drain, and then all the flower room is all flood and drain as well. So it's all pretty much canonical over here. Yeah.
Save some money using that mud tray. For real.
Say again?
I said you save some money using that mud tray.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
And it's easy too, because it's small too. So it's you can easily quickly just change the water out, and then, it's just easy to control one little tray of say you have all new seedlings. And so that way you don't have to worry about so these get less CC than the ones on the right. So, I have a little factory over here that I'm trying to work through so I can just keep it all in rotation.
Yeah.
Just 1 second. I'm adding a couple of moderators on the show. Could one of you guys do me a favor and go ahead and grab the link to GMX's channel and post it in the comment section for us? I'll pin it up so everybody will know where to go to find them. One other thing for IPM, I see you use what is it, the Lost Coast plant therapy?
Yes, sir.
How's that working for you?
Using this. It's working very well. I couldn't be happier. My wife actually she looks at the ingredient. She's like, we could make this ourselves. You know what I mean? I know it's some guy up north did it way back in the 90s. He pretty much uses all this peppermint and all these natural ingredients. And just gave it out to all these different growers up north and Humboldt, whatever, and it worked out. I really do like it. It works well. I used to use the traditional like spinosad and neem oil, and to be honest, with a little bit of 1-to-1 of alcohol to the plant therapy, I've pretty much seen the best results in 15 years. To be honest, it's a game changer, in my opinion. So I've been using plant therapy for the last couple of years, and that's pretty much it. Once in a while, I'll put in the neem just to make it look pretty, but at the end of the day, pretty much for IPM, it's just straight up plant therapy, 1-to-1. So
I still think neem works great. Like it's always something you can go back to. It's a guaranteed killer for the most part. You just gotta you gotta follow them instructions when it comes to using it, and don't be mixing it with using other stuff because it doesn't agree with everything. Especially, I heard sulfur.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sulfur to tear your plants up.
Tear your plants up. Set you way back.
Got the link in there. Hey, did you ever have like a bug problem and then use Lost Coast plant therapy? Like, and you just see it work? Or do you just use it just prevent, and never had to worry about it?
No, it definitely did. Pretty much coming out here, there's new different type of species of different pests that I didn't really have to deal with on the East Coast. And the main one was thrips. And I know everybody gets thrips everywhere. But being down here in LA County, I noticed thrips and I noticed white flies. So it just happened to be at the time, probably like 2017. People were just talking about it. It got really popular. I know Meg. I think Megro one is the one who maybe put me on, maybe Med or Beta, one of the two, put me onto it. And I just, I still use neem, and I still use the spinosad, and I have the captains as well. So there's definitely 4 different things that I use, and then the captains is just like you use that for like a soil drench, opposed to everything else is just foliar.
The captains, what's that? The
Captain Jack's
bugs.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, soil drench with that. That's good.
That's mainly for what, like fungus gnats?
Exactly. Yep, fungus gnats. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Do you follow VPD at all?
I do. Yeah, I do. And, I just try to use what they recommend out there in the, in the internets. I do have that product, that pulse meter. I think we so I use those in all the different rooms, and that really helps to just dial in your VPD. And the only thing I really changed in terms of the VPD since that all started back with Medicropper years ago is adding humidity to the garden. You know what I mean? Like you try to grow it at a higher temperature and you add humidity. And I've seen more, some good results opposed to just the traditional, 75 degrees and like 50% humidity. You can run it at like 83, 84 with high 60s, humidity. So try to take it up and have it. Exactly. Just having that tool.
Yeah. That VPD start at 83 is like 75% humidity.
Yeah. That's because they can take the heat better when it's humid. That dry heat, I think, is what really puts the strain on them. But I think if you can match the humidity to it, they can deal with the heat a lot better.
What do you use for to bring in the humidity?
I just use these little humidifiers from Amazon.
Okay.
Nothing, and then I just fill it up every morning, especially because of the small space. Yeah, same Amazon. I have my own little account just for the growing and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just to keep it all together. Yeah. Yeah, I like humidity in the smaller chambers. It seems to work in the smaller. I haven't really used it in the big room yet, so I still I have an AC in there. But for my one breathing chamber, it's there's no real forced cool air, so that's why I use that method.
Oh, okay.
How many plants are you comfortable putting underneath each one of the HLG 300s?
Well, I would probably say 8, just for my situation.
So you but, do 8, right now 300.
Is that a 1
gallon? I could.
Those 1 gallon pots or what?
Those are 1 gallons from the last round. Yeah, but as of right now, they're all I currently have all the mothers in there and the fathers, but I'm going to take the fathers out before I flip. And there's probably, I think there is 4. They're so big, you know what I mean? So for the way I normally would grow smaller plants, I say with 8 under it. That's what I normally did with the 600. Just 8 for the 4x2 area. But now, yeah, it's probably cut down to 4 just because they're so big. You know what I mean?
Okay. So it depends on the size of the plants, basically.
Absolutely. And like I said, I'm adding in. I have the 2 600s in the middle, like the lane where you walk, similar to what Vader was doing. He gave me the idea with the whole lightsaber, just having that extra little bit of light. So that would help too. Like I said, if I was just say I didn't have those lightsabers in there, I would say that I would need to have those 550s, or at least one more 300. So there would be, like 2 over that space,
Get a better
not just
spread,
one.
huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I use those little ones for veg, and it just works so good for veg, man.
Oh yeah.
How do you guys feel about the LEDs for like seedlings or clones?
Which ones?
Well, I mean, whatever LEDs that you use. I mean, do you guys use LEDs or for cloning too?
LED for everything. I also have T5s too that I still just throw up if I need some space somewhere, and I just use them. Because T5s, honestly, I love T5s.
Me too.
When you think about power, they just suck a lot of power compared to the LED. So you'd be like, damn, I'm just wasting power when I could just use the LED. But the plants
look so much happier under those T5s, though.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
T5, man.
Yeah.
But the LED blue spectrum, I use like the little 240 for veg.
I use 240s too.
Yeah.
I use the
HLG. Mouse had a lot. We were on one of those trips a couple of years back, and he was saying that there's always something to say about the T5s when it comes to certain parts of the plant life, and that's the beginning. Like, I mean, unless you, like I said before, like unless you have like LEDs like super far from the canopy of a small like 2-week or even like a freshly cut clone, I mean that intensity I lost clones, I lost seedlings because of too much light just from LEDs. So it's definitely been a learning curve going from T5s to LEDs. In my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
My clones start off in racks. So from the racks, they got the 1-strip T5s. And then once I see them really starting to grow in the solo cups on the racks, that's when I just move them down off of the racks onto the floor with the HLG 240s.
So you just use one?
Yeah.
Just one strip?
Yeah, just 1 strip.
Damn.
Until I really see them start growing.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, until I see him. And hold on a second. Shout out to Doggo the Hut. I see you in the chat. Shout out to Doggo.
Greenhouse.
Thank you for joining.
That greenhouse.
Oh, you got a greenhouse, Doggo?
No, Doggo's killing with his greenhouse.
Oh man, I've been missing out. I ain't even get to see the greenhouse yet. Did he wound up having to switch channels or something, right?
I think he took a break for work stuff, and then he came back. So yeah, he's back up on there, and he has a greenhouse on there YouTube yet, but I know he's been posting it to Instagram for this round.
Oh, okay, yeah, we definitely got to check that out.
It's dope. Yeah, I was watching yours too, Frosty. Your videos for all your greenhouses too, man.
Whoo, that boy Frosty killing it.
Killing it, man. So I'm guessing you're up in the Bay then, right?
No, I'm up in Lake County.
Okay.
Like up in the middle of nowhere.
Boom. Yeah.
People be like, is that by Sac? I was like, no.
Nah. Yeah.
It's like going to
it sounded quiet.
It's like going to Calistoga.
It's
like going to Calistoga and then go over St. Helena Mountain and then just like a whole nother little valley, and that's where I'm at.
Hey, man. One day a greenhouse like that.
Oh yeah, man. It's fucking I love the greenhouse, man. It's just I just sit out there and just stare. Like it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Hey GMX, how do you cool your space?
Funny story with that, but I mean, as of right now, I have just like a basic window AC in the main flower room, and then I pretty much try to share that air. Almost use the flower room like a lung room to share that with the veg room, and then I have my breeding chamber outside of that structure, which is just like a floating room. And then but long story short, I do have a split AC. And it's crazy. I mean, I bought it on Amazon, like I do all the shit, right? And it never showed up. It never showed up.
What?
So they refunded. This is like all like in the middle of COVID. Like this is like a year ago, and I still haven't installed it, which is the funny part about it. But long story short, so they didn't send, something happened, and they refunded me. I had to go through the whole process of like getting your money back. So I bought it again from Amazon. It never showed up. It like literally fell off a truck. They said it was stolen.
Wow.
So I finally bought it a third time, and then so I got it like in September. It's just been sitting. It's just been sitting in my backyard, and I actually I have a picture. I'm gonna share it with you guys after. You know, as a seed maker, I always have seeds, and I'm always like throwing out seeds. So there was a wild cannabis plant, which isn't wild because obviously it fell out from being a seed maker or whatever. And so I'm gonna show you guys a picture. I'll probably post it to Instagram of just like my AC that's still not installed with a little cannabis plant growing out from the bottom. It's just been sitting there. But yeah, I'm getting help. I'm gonna be getting help to get it installed. So hopefully I'm been building up this room this week, and then I'm gonna install that. So basically that I forget what it is. I think it's you know, like 1.5 ton AC will be my new room, which is gonna be like my little studio space. I was talking to Frosty about, which I'm gonna, you know, have a situation where I'll be able to broadcast or just have like a better situation in terms of just showing yourself or talking video calls, Zoom calls, or whatever. And that will be the lung room. And then I will have it going into the flower room and going into the bedroom. So that's the plan right now. So that's where I'm going to be. And then that way there'll be more than enough AC for the flower room, and then the AC will be fine for the bedroom. So I do have a 1.5 ton AC that I'm currently in the process of installing.
And you call it a lung room. I like that. That's what I'm gonna do with my perpetual place is a room outside where the water and everything's be, and I got my mini split there, and then I use AC infinity fans to like suck in air through 3 different rooms. Yeah. And that is okay. Lung room. I like that. It's dope.
I remember
Huh? I was just sorry to interrupt. I was going to say, I heard you talking earlier about the water. So Frosty, do you have how do you get your water? I'm guessing it's not like regular like
city. I just got city water.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is city water. Yeah. Okay, I wasn't sure if you said you had a well. And if you had a well, do you do what like a lot of like Med? I know Med does. You know, has to like have a 2 filter stage situation. I wasn't sure if you had to do that too.
If I had a well, I would just check the well water and see how it is first, and then if you need filters, you go from there. But I don't have enough. I don't have enough land to need a well.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
But,
I do the same. It's just city water.
But I want to get the land behind me, and if I do get that, I want to put a garden back there like a regular garden, and I'll get a well water for that. That'd be dope.
Well water is heavy in calcium, right?
Right.
See, I think it depends though where your well is, where it's coming from, where's the water coming from.
Okay.
Because we got a lake. It's like a lake about, I'll say about 1,000 feet from me. It is called Borax Lake. It's not good lake. It's not like a good lake, but the well doesn't get the water from that lake. It actually
gets from under the ground.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's a spring fed from somewhere.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know where. It's in the middle of nothing.
GMX, I also seen that you do the let them die on the vine technique. Have you noticed any difference from just letting them die on the vine versus cutting them when on a certain day when they're still alive and hanging them?
I don't think it's a real major difference. It's more about just the process of how you want to get it done. Sometimes I'll do it the other way, the traditional way of just, you know, cutting them down. It just speeds up the process without getting that like grassy, like not cool smell and, you know, profile that you get from weed that, you know, cannabis that dries too quickly. So I think it's just a good technique. I wasn't sure. I'm trying to remember where I got that technique from.
You're the first person I seen do that. I was like,
Jungle Boys is the first person I seen do it.
So they
it was Jungle. Yeah. It was the Jungle Boys tech. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah. I mean, over the years,
I never seen it.
Yeah,
well,
like
inside that video. Yeah, I think right inside that video, they show a couple dead ones like right on the vine.
Huh.
Yeah, he like they brag about like if your garden doesn't look shitty, then you're obviously doing something wrong or whatever. So I tried it and it seemed to work, and I noticed that it just was easy. It was just almost easier, you know, process in terms of just getting it to dry quicker without losing that quality that you look for, you know?
Got you. So it'll just be like, so say your last watering, and then you just stop feeding it, just stop giving it water, and just keep the lights running, or do you turn the lights off, or how does that work?
Keep the lights out at
Lights
that
running,
point.
and then I cut the lights before, a couple of days before. It is pretty much the same thing. So instead of, say you dry for like 10 days, right? Instead of it being 10 days, it's 7 days or whatever. So it's not like, it's just like a couple of days that you're saving without like fucking up your product by, you know, drying too quickly, you know?
Okay.
Saves you a little bit on space too, because they can do the shrinkage right on the vine pretty much, and the size that they are from there, it ain't going to change much from there. They're pretty much lost everything that they were going to lose at that point.
Exactly. And if
Yeah,
you're growing bigger plants, it may not be the best idea. So it all really depends on your situation. But for growing smaller plants, I feel like it works out well. You know, growing in tables, that makes sense. If you're growing like, you know, drained away in these huge, like Remo garden with these like huge plants, they may not work out the same, you know?
Yeah. So you don't chop the stalk or nothing. Just let it dry out and die.
Yep.
That's
I mean, definitely, yeah, and not even necessarily all but just, you know, let it dry until it's like, wow, this thing is like, there's no water in it, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So they still look alive, you know, but some die in the vine, but some just are just, you know, there's no coming back from it. But yeah, just, you know, it's definitely something I've done in the last few rounds. It works out.
The reason I said die on the vine is because that's the first time I heard it, and that was the term that they used. Just let it die on the vine. That was,
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
now when you double
time.
trellised in, to me, that's gonna make my job a little bit more difficult, because like the leaves that are still kind of wet, they wind up getting caught up in the net as you're trying to get it out, and it just makes life so much difficult. So I think on a bigger scale, you're gonna have to let them dry back a little bit more than somebody doing it on the smaller scale, because you don't want to deal with those wet leaves that are just hard to pull off, hard to do anything. They get wrapped up in the trellis net. You might want to find another way around it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or let them dry more.
Like you said, if you had like a double layer of trellis, yeah, this tech may not work just because you don't want it to die on the vine, because like you said, it's just going to be like, you know, dried up everywhere. So yeah, it'll just be a mess.
It's so much more difficult. And for the leaves that are dry, they just stratinal off all over the place. Now you got yellow leaves on your buds, and yeah, it depends on your situation. I see why you said that. So I got the ultimate question for you.
What do you got?
What is your favorite strain?
Oh, that's like saying that. That's the way your favorite song is, or your favorite child. Man, that's crazy. I mean, like, I remember Frosty was saying a couple of weeks back in one of his videos about just your own strain. At the end of the day, I mean, there's something special about when you create a strain and then you grow it and then you smoke it. So
if that's your favorite, that's your favorite.
There's nothing better than that.
So but I definitely like this new one, man. This Black Rosie, which is pretty much, it's dark plasma crossed to the Rosie Kush. Probably one of the most unique terpene profiles. It has like this marshmallow, like fruit berry thing going on, and it's nice. And it's more of like an afternoon, not necessarily a daytime, or nighttime. It's like an afternoon into the evening, kind of like mellow. I like it a lot. So I probably would say that's my favorite strain. But in high school, it was definitely the sour diesel. You know what I mean? Definitely
yes.
Diesel, that's skunk number 5. So those are the two big ones back in the day, skunk number 5. And then obviously, you know, the mid 2000s to the late 2010, whatever, it's probably just, you know, just the OGs. I'm a big fan of the OGs for what I said earlier. And, you know, I do like the cookies and everything that came from cookies, everything all the way down to a new cut that I just grabbed recently, the apple fritter, which I haven't tried yet. I just thought the cut of it, you know, and cuts are abundant down here. Amazing how many cuts you can get in LA. So I grabbed that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I see a lot of people growing, including Kite. So I'm looking forward to that flavor. So I do like the cookies lineage, but I also very much like the Hindu Kush lineage and the OG Kushes and the, you know. So
what is the Rosie?
I was just about to ask that. Yeah.
It's Mystery Cookies, which is a cut that I acquired back in East Coast in Boston specifically, and it's crossed to Spartan Kush, which is B2I OG times to the Wizard's Potion. That was a cross by PH Nerd when he was part of the Ocean Grown. So that's where it started. So I used his one of the seeds that I found, just a male that I found, and I crossed that to the this cut that I was smoking for a grip, and I love that cut. It was super unique. It was like, I called it the Urkel Cookies Pheno, which would remind me of purple Urkel with a lot of that forum cut mixture. So that was the Mystery Cookies. I crossed that to the Spartan Kush, and that's the Rosie Kush.
Sounds fucking fire.
Hell yes.
Yeah, it's a minute. And now I'm on the F3 now too, so I'm looking forward to actually doing my first back cross, which I haven't done yet after all these years. I never did the back cross, so I'm going to do a back cross with it this year. So it'll be like it'll be F2BX, and that's where I'm at with the Rosie.
Oh yes.
And this new one, Black Rosie.
Yeah, the new one's Black Rosie, which is the dark plasma, which is that's from the Ocean Grown, which is the forum cut cross to the Obi.
I heard that shit is knockout.
What, the dark plasma?
I heard the dark plasma is straight knockout. Like that's not a daytime anything. I heard it is kill.
Yeah, man. It has a unique like salt and pepper type of flavor to it too, with that cookies and gas on the back. So it's definitely I mean, it's one of my favorite Ocean Grown strains, and I pretty much grown, as you can imagine, I've grown dozens, it seems like, So, I mean, that's one of my favorites for sure, dark plasma. And if you can get acquired, I think it'll be worth it for you to grab it. It's a good, solid, and it's good for indoor growers because it's short and squat. You know what I mean? So
I definitely want it.
Really,
dark plasma.
I definitely want it. Definite.
So with you and Ocean Grown, which strains do you have a hand in? Or is it all of them?
No, it's just it's like a collective. So pretty much each breeder is pretty much doing their own thing. Like Vader obviously did majority of the strains that you see, like the Alien Riffs and the Dark Plasma and like the Java Cushes and the Pie. So that's all Vader. So for me, I released 3 strains under Ocean Grown. It's the Rosie Kush, the Pine Valleys, and the Black Rosie. And the Pine Valleys is a cross between Skunk Beard, which is a shrimp cross, and
we had one out. What'd you say?
Oh, it's a cross between Swashbuckler and Rosie Kush. Not Swashbuckler, Skunk Beard and Rosie Kush. Oh. And Skunk Beard is Shrimp did that one. Shrimp has a whole bunch of strains that he created, and Doggo is the same way. So he has a few. He has his one of the molten core is just like his own CBD creation. So,
that was he used the Pennywise from Subcool, right?
Yeah, I think it's the Ringo's Gift, but it had the Pennywise in it. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
okay. Yeah. It was the Pennywise that gave it the extra CBD boost or something, right?
Yeah, I think it's like a 1 to 1.5 or something like that. It's solid. I grew a couple times, so yeah, it's solid. And if you're into CBD, it's definitely like a quality cultivar and project that he's doing. So
cool,
much needed in the industry.
There's a litany. I mean, if you can imagine of crosses and hybrids, I'm sure Frosty could probably have done the same thing where you make something and they just never talk about it or do anything. It just didn't work out, whether it harmed or whether it didn't produce what you wanted or whether it was whack. You just didn't want to mess with it. So there are a whole bunch that we don't fucking talk about. Things that I've done, you know what I mean? But the ones that I have like over 11 crosses I have done, but as of right now, there's only 3 that I'm really working on.
That you really feeling like it's gonna make a difference. Some shit to put out. Yeah.
Or just putting enough time in it, you know what I mean? So
that's the thing too.
Like a lot of the ones, I just grab a cut, you throw something to it, but you want to do a little bit more work. So that's what I'm trying to do with some of the other crosses that I did. So for last year, I did the 3 crosses I did. I did the Black Rosie, the Rosie OG, which is the Banana OG cross to the Rosie, and then the last one was the Purple Punch cross to the Rosie, which is the Rosie Punch, and that's actually the Jungle Boys cut, which I acquired out in Hollywood, which is fire fucking cut.
What's the Purple Punch?
Of the Purple Punch?
Purple Punch.
They got a
The Jungle
purple punch
Boys
that's
one.
fire.
Yeah, it's fire. I definitely have a cut. I can get you a cut of that one for sure.
Like potent?
Definitely
Potent?
fire. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of those ones aren't as potent, but it tastes great.
Okay,
you know,
okay.
definitely
Terps.
tastes great.
Crazy terps.
The terps is for sure. And then the Banana OG is that Oregon Kid cut that I got in Hollywood as well. So
how was that?
Yeah, that's straight, man, and it definitely smells like banana. It's like almost, for me at least, I smell like a ripe banana peel. Heavy.
Yeah, most the banana terps aren't really one of those strong terps.
Yeah, so that's one that I'm most likely will release next, and then I'm currently working on something for a minute, which is I call it the Astro Tropic. It's a cross between Tropic Lightning and Astro Chimp, and it's by far the most potent strain that I've ever created. It's Knockout. And I'm actually I'm hoping to back cross that to like the grandfather, which is the Gorilla Glue, which would be, I think, really solid because the Astro Chimp is Gorilla Glue lineage, and then so I thought that would be a cool back cross as well.
I still got the Astro Chimp too. I don't know why I still have it, but I definitely do. I bought a lot of ocean grown gear when it came out. I was definitely the Fader Actual, all of the gas.
Nice.
Jedi OG. Jedi OG is one of those OGs that kind of smell like apples that I was talking about earlier, Frosty. Like when you smell it, it got like a applesauce kind of smell to it. Like if you could picture applesauce and gas, that's what the Jedi reminds me of. It definitely got some apple terps to it.
That's different.
I remember Vader did a review on it, and that's how he was describing some of the smells on the Jedi was like apple. Like you could really smell it heavy. He removed some of those videos for other reasons, but I wish he would have kept some of those.
No, they'll be back eventually.
Where can we find your strains?
Yeah, they're if you go to oceangrownseeds.com, you can find all the strains. But yeah, I don't have anything on the site for the distributor, which is the Lumberjack Seed Source. Nothing on there right now. I only did a small little drop of the Black Rosie. I'm hoping to restock the last little bit of packs that I do have. But yeah, you can find all of our stuff on oceangrownseeds.com.
All right.
Ocean Grown Seeds. Post a link in the chat.
When it comes to breeding, what's your do you do it just like Vader, or do you have a different method? Like, do you lift up your male out of the water and kill it? Do you shake it? Like, what's your thing? Do you paint it on, or just put a male in there with the females and go from there?
Put the male. I definitely put the male in there, and like pretty much let it sit in there, marinate with the ladies. I do like the 2x3 chambers that I do have right now for what I call the micro breeding chamber. I do have the whole basket system. I made a video, a couple breeding chamber you can find on there. I think it was a couple seasons ago.
You said a 2x3?
It's a 2x3, which is where I pretty much do all like because I'm all time. I mean, I don't like I'm not moving seeds like a lot of some other people, and a lot of my way I create. I've been doing it since the inception, which is a small little 2x3. I used to have a 300 HPS, and I would just have like one male and a few females. It's a very small little situation, just so I can gauge if I'm going to be able to even work with the strain again, opposed to like using a lot of space and a lot of electricity, a lot of nutrients. So I make it a small little situation, and then as soon as I run them and I like them, then I'll bring them into the big room and I'll make like a big run of it. You know what I mean? And majority of the time, it's when I go to the F2. So I definitely take a little bit more time than the average reader. I call myself a seed maker because I mean, I'm definitely no geneticist by any means, and there's a lot more that goes into it when it comes down to like people who are actually doing that. You know what I mean? So, I definitely want to take my time with it. So I just wanted to make sure, like, for example, like the Astrotropic, I created that when I first came back out here. I created that, and it was a failure. It failed initial trials. Med actually helped out with running it. Everybody got herms. The whole thing just hermed out. And I believe that it's because of the GG4 lineage. And it's a lot of people talk about, certain traits and things skipping a generation. I actually just completed the F2s, and I'm hoping that trait just skipped a generation. And I definitely picked the 3 solid females that didn't show any kind of signs of hermaphroditism, so there was no issues. You know what I mean? So hopefully it will just be a regular situation. But that's one of the main reasons why I use the small situations, because the last thing you want to do is have like thousands of seeds that are bullshit.
That's true.
You're just going to throw away.
That's true. Quality control.
Facts.
Absolutely.
You said it's the herm skip generation sometime?
That's what they say, you know, and we'll see if that happens.
Who is that?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to ask. Where can we hear this? Because why haven't people just taken things to F2 to at least attempt to stabilize some of the strains that are unstable?
I think just in general, I mean, maybe not specifically hermaphrodites, but just mutations or any other issues could skip generations. You know, even with people that happens. You know,
I definitely believe it.
It's more of a theory, to be honest. I'm not going to try to I'm not going to talk on my neck. It's more of a theory.
Okay.
That we'll see. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be running.
Couldn't come up with like any other conclusion on why it did it, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then and another option could be just the initial male that you chose, right? So with this F1 male, solid, true male, in my opinion, didn't show any kind of mutations, didn't show any kinds of signs of being a hermaphrodite. You know, it's just a theory, and it's been a long time. Like it's going to be like 4 years working on the same cross. It just knocked me out of the park in terms of like the effect, which is something that I really was looking for, opposed to just that same. Yeah, just everybody got the terpene. The terpene is like so abundant. A powerful strain is what I think is more important for me at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. So what are some future projects that you're looking forward to? Any strains right now that got you super interested in wanting to cross something with?
Yeah, I mean, I picked up a bunch of cuts out here. So I picked up the purple cookies cut. I'm curious about that. I picked up, like I said, the apple fritter cut. And then I'm also just want to go back to the basics where I dig into some ocean grown seed stock. Like I'm digging into the Challenger Deep and to the Alien Rift. And just do some kind of pheno hunts to find something unique, opposed to just using a cut. But yeah, all the above, and I want to work on a CBD variety as well.
Oh, hold on. Don't you have SFVOG?
I do. I mean, I have a list. I was going to pull up the list. I don't. Yeah, I got the SFVOG too.
Yeah, I'll be in contact.
And I got the same.
You want that?
I want that SFV, man. That is one of the best OGs ever. That's why every dispensary you go to, I don't care, world over, they have SFVOG in it.
That's the most popular one. What?
Yeah, I definitely got that.
I
didn't run it yet either.
Have you tried any fem seeds?
I haven't. I recently acquired some. I'm not sure you guys follow him. Probably follow him. Cannabinology on Instagram, and he does fem seeds. Yeah, Cannabinology. He's out of he's up north too. I'm not exactly sure where he's at. But yeah, he's doing his thing on Instagram and stuff, and he sells his own. He's a seed maker and does his own thing as well, and he sells that STS spray. Yeah. So I did pick those up. I picked those up when I was like in the mood. Like it was probably like the end of 2020. I bought things from everybody. I bought from Loki. I probably would have bought from YouTube Frosty if I knew at the time, but I bought from like Empire, like everybody. I was just like, you know what? I posted about it too. Like I wanted just to like show love, like, because I appreciate people buying my seed stock and ocean grown. And, so I pretty much went around. I bought some Titan stuff. I bought some of the Robin Hood seed stuff. Loki, like I mentioned, Med, Tight, and obviously those East Coast Sour Diesel, which is actually the only seed that I popped out of that little spending spree. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was important to give back to other growers and shit. You know what I mean? Just
we
support
all do
them
it.
by.
We all do it.
You know what I mean?
No matter how much I grow, I always want to smoke another grower's flowers. Always.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seeds stocked up, man. So many damn seeds.
Yeah.
When you're working on Frosty, you got anything new?
I'm just acquiring the best genetics right now. And
When the time is right.
Yeah, when the time is right, when everything is grown and smoked and weeded out, we'll get back to another breeding round. I want to try my hand at fem seeds, but I don't want to risk it. And I really do like F1s more.
I
So,
love F1s.
Yeah, I mean,
so I might just stick with what I like and not try to please everybody. You know,
I love
I'm gonna
F1s.
do it just as I like F1s too. You know, just the variety of them. You know,
yeah, but
I'm gonna try.
Like, you know how you got a keeper cut, some shit that's yours. I just wanted to
Yep.
feminize it and just have seed in seed form, you know, just to have it.
Yeah.
So while
Preservation.
I think they have two. They have two is probably a good idea to do that. So I was thinking about doing that. Like I said, I bought some of that STS spray. So I'm not sure which strain I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do it just for the content value. I bought the STS spray, and I also bought some other stuff from Amazon from China. It's this it's not gibberellic acid. I think it's gibberellin or whatever. It's just pretty much a plant hormone. So the whole idea of that is to feminize two different ways, like the traditional STS spray and the other way, and just to see what produces the best quality product. But I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm all about true breeding. I'm all about nature. So I don't think I would be in the business of selling FEMs personally, but who knows? You never know. But as of right now, I'm going to try to do it just for the content. I'm going to put it on YouTube and just for the experiment of doing it. I did start with S1s when I started growing, but it was more, I used like the old techniques of like just stressing your plant out just to produce. That's how I started with it. But I like this idea of try it out. So I'm going to do some FEMs this fall. I'm going to try to do it.
Yeah, from everything I've been like doing research on, STS is pretty much that's going to do what it's supposed to do.
It's going to do the job. It's been doing the job. It's going to keep doing the job.
Keep doing it. Some people, I think, try to make their own shit and it fails
miserably.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't work out. And it's just the STS. I think if you do using the STS like they say use it, it's going to work. And some strains just don't want to work with feminized. So that might turn people off when they try and it doesn't work. That strain just doesn't want to do it.
I seen the tighter the Calyx structure, the harder it is to reverse.
Oh, really?
That's what I've noticed. You got to think. They say Mac is a hard one to reverse. Very tight Calyx structure. Most of the plants that got a really nice, dense, tight Calyx structure, like Titan was saying with the banana buttercups, it's hard to get pollen out of it because of how dense the actual calyxes are. So I think the more dense the calyx,
because everything is dense now, and like most strains are dense now. So,
exactly.
Yeah, that's why people trying.
Cookies changed the game.
I was just about to say that cookie lineage. Right?
Yeah, cookies changed the game. It gave a whole new structure to the buds now.
Little rocks.
Like that. Yeah, they're just straight rocks. They got a lot of character to them, like very knobby, and even the knobs are dense. So it definitely brought a new structure into the cannabis industry in general. Shout out to cookies.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they changed the game.
You can't beat a good old male in there, though. Can't beat it. Just do it the right way, and then
let it do its job.
We're trying to. A lot of people just trying to accommodate to lazy people.
Yeah. I don't mind tossing the males out. I don't mind tossing the males out. So, you know what I do?
I'll change so much. Like you can just get I use what's it called, the Delta leaf. Like you just grow out the regular seeds, and then you just at 14 days, 15 days, you take the little cotyledon, a little baby leaf, and just send it in, and you know what you're getting. So
at
the end of the day, I mean, exactly, it's $9, $1 for the test, and then $9 to actually run the test. So I mean,
you can't beat that.
But in autos, the FEMs, I mean, I get it though. There's definitely a market for the FEMs and the autos. But if you're like a really, I mean, I'm not into that market. But that's all out there.
It's a place for everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely a place for everything.
I'm with Subcool. I'm with Subcool on this one.
What?
Fuck autos. Yeah, that was one of Subcool's favorite lines. Yeah,
I never ran autos. Ever. I ran my own FEMs and like S1s, and never ran autos for sure. And that's something I haven't done.
I don't like things I can't keep the cut off.
I ran into an auto mail from an S1.
This shit
Man.
right here, nigga. This shit right here, nigga. Right here. This shit, nigga. This shit here, nigga.
Ain't that crazy? An automatic mail from a S1. That's the craziest shit in my life.
A mutation. That's definitely a mutation.
Yeah.
And an anomaly, to say the least.
Yeah,
You know,
but
I saw that on
that's
your
what I was
feed.
saying about the STS spray. Like everybody knows that works, the STS spray, but when you go and try to make your own shit, you know, it might have worked for you, but yeah, you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of reasons why
Auto
people
mail.
are going to the S2s, you know, they're taking their stuff to the S2, so that way, you know, they have a better idea of like what they're producing, you know,
or you can actually test the seeds you make. That could definitely make a game changer too. You might not want to release something if you pop a 10-pack of your own gear and it turns out to not be so great on the result end. Same way you guys didn't want to release a strain because it hermied with everybody. Only reason you knew that is because you were testing it.
Yeah.
So I think
it was a great testing team, man. I mean, I have like solid growers. All the growers, you know, like just help me out because they're just solid growers, and that really makes the difference. Is to really run your shit. You know what I mean? Like I have no hate at any of these breeders out here doing what they're doing, but at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, it's really all about just like testing it. At least testing yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
sure.
One 10-pack, just one 10-pack. That's it.
Just check it out.
Check it out. See what you got going on there.
Well, that's cool though. That separates it separates people. You know what I mean? And that's what you need in life. You need separation. Everybody can't be the same person. Everybody got different standards. So, you know, you got to do what's right to you. You know what I mean? Do what's right to you and live in that truth. That's all. Like you, 100%. I can know for sure if you putting out something, you already know it's tested. It's it. It is what it is. THC Titan put it out. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yep. You know when you get this, you're gonna be able to break this down, roll this up, smoke this, and it's
finish him.
I see you, Frosty, doing the same thing. So we're all doing the same, you know.
Yeah.
Most breeders can't wait to grow their stuff.
Yeah, for real, man. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to have my own.
You crossed it for a reason. It had to be something you was at least interested in. You would think you would want to run something you created.
Yeah, you gotta care. I think as a breeder, you gotta care.
You're wasting a whole room that you could have did a run in.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a breeder, you want to have a hunt.
Say it.
That phenotype. Like, as a breeder, you want to be, it's all about that pheno hunt, that selection. You know what I mean? So the more the better. So the more you run it, the better. You know what I mean? Like the more better specs you have. So.
Yeah, I was watching Instagram. Not watching Instagram, but it is like fucking TV these days. Instagram was like a television show. But who was it? I think it was Archive. Well, it was one of the big seed companies. Man, they had a whole greenhouse full of phenos. I'm talking about little seeds, and they just started from small, and it just filled up everything. It must have been like 100,000 fucking little plants in there. And I'm like, man, that is a fucking pheno hunt right there. That is crazy.
Exactly.
That is crazy.
Back in the 90s, 20 like greenhouses with like 10,000. That's like their population that they were like searching for. You know what I mean? Yeah. Things have definitely changed now with these little micro, hybridized situations. Yeah, one day, I mean, even with your those hoop houses, Frosty, you definitely one of those days. I'm sure you could do like a pretty solid 1,000 plant pheno hunt.
Yeah, I could.
How much?
I really could, but I'm on a get back right now. I got. Next year might be different though. Next year really might be different where I could just do a lot of pheno hunting, and then that'd be fucking fun right there.
Dedicate the greenhouses to nice pheno hunts.
Yeah,
maybe 2 or 3 of everything.
Hunt, though. Not a lot of money in pheno hunting though.
No, it's not, but it is great to show your people what you're doing because you know what I mean. Then they can see what they get.
They love it.
They can see what they get, and they can see that you care, man. You got to show people you care.
For sure, for sure.
This is a soul plant. Like this plant is everything. You know what I mean?
Everything.
You gotta have respect for it and the people in the community. You gotta have respect and love and have some morals in this game, man. You got to.
Oh yeah. This is a giving game. Like normally the cannabis industry, we're the most peaceful, we're the most giving, we're the most helpful. We like to fill in the blanks for any other growers. Do you know how many lights I've given people and clones I've given people and seeds I've given people? That's the kind of industry that this is supposed to be. So shout out to the breeders like y'all that's keeping it at that standard where people still feel comfortable to be able to come and grab something and be happy with it because we know that you're happy with it.
And just like he said, he bought
Yeah.
everybody's gear, showing love, just buying everybody's gear.
Just because.
The tomato owner of the farm, he's not going to nobody else buying that shit.
No.
It's cutthroat. You know what I mean? This game is not supposed to be cutthroat. This game is medicine at its purest form. Like this is
with the most
Absolutely.
variations of any medicine that there is. There's more variations of this medicine than any of the other medicines that are out there. Like this, it comes in so many forms.
It's so many that they have no clue as to how many.
Every month it can grow a different strain. Every month of the year, you can have a different version of this one medicinal plant, and you can have a lot of it. Because in places like Jamaica, they come up flowering. Like all you got to do is plant it. It's just gonna come up one long stem with a big ass bud on the top of it. No matter what time you plant it, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying that that two different, like two of the same strains in different parts of the world will be different.
Completely
like,
different.
Even that's a variation. And it could be the same strain. So it's like everything plays a part into it. Like your altitude, everything plays a part in it.
Yep.
And those environmental factors take a huge toll on how like the genetics will turn out. Sure.
Yeah.
My Brisker OG is completely different indoor and outdoor. The smell's different. The taste is different. It's the same. Like, it's Brisker, but you're like, there's something different about this one that came from the outdoor. And that's just a simple change. But I've also sent cuts to people, and it came out better than I grew it. Like, I'm like, yo, mine ain't never smelled like this, tastes like this, nothing. Like, this is the same cut I gave you.
Black G, what's
What
up,
do
man?
they do?
Black Diamond Genetics in the building.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, showing some love. But yeah, man. What where do you see your future going? Like, what else are you going to get into? Are you going to get into tissue culture? Like
Mushrooms.
what else is in?
I definitely thought about tissue culture for preserving the genetics. Yeah, and also very curious about the whole intellectual property of like creating cannabis strains and how that's all going to play out. And and I like I said, I have like a solid like 10 different hybrids that I'm working on, and hopefully within the next 5-6 years I'll be through them all. And I also have a little other side projects. Before all this, I was really into music, so a lot of my content is based around music. So I'm really into that as well.
What kind of music?
Gardening and well, I make hip hop beats. That's what I do. I was a beat maker back in high school, in the 90s and early 2000s. So I still like all like the little background sounds you hear on all my videos. Those are all just beats that I make.
Really?
Old school beat maker. I hunt for vinyl. So I sample vinyl records, just like traditional old school beat maker. So I sample records and then I just make beats with those different samples. So I do love doing that.
I got something for you. I don't have it. I don't have it, but I had a name of it. Damn, I was listening to like some old shit. I was sitting in the park with my son today. And remember that song, Sitting in the Park Waiting for You? Remember that shit?
Yeah.
And the list kept going. The list kept going, and it played some dope ass old ass song, man. I was like, man, this sound like it's like I could hear it. I could hear something. If it's sampled, it'd be dope. I'm gonna send you the name of it. Maybe you could sample it and make something cool, man. Because it was a dope
man, I'll
song.
definitely shout you out if it ever works for sure.
It was dope.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
And what's music and cannabis.
Work on it. Video.
Say it again.
No,
Music and
I was just gonna say, like, I was just gonna say real quick. Sorry. What I'm trying to do is like a lot of music. So I have a little studio with all my little equipment and stuff, which you'll eventually you'll see and stuff. So a lot of the future revolves around some of the artistic stuff that I'm trying to do. And, I have this little other Instagram. It's called Pure Cuts, Purcutz. It actually started as a caregiver account. I was just like, selling cuts or whatever. So that kind of evolved into like this, music, culture, and cannabis advocacy platform. So I'm hoping to do more with that. I'm hoping to do more with that too. So
that's fire.
Yeah, we all into the music. All three of us into the music. I actually got to pull my stuff out and get back to it.
Music and cannabis is always related.
Yeah,
100%.
They go hand in hand. I don't know why, but it goes hand in hand. Something about cannabis makes you want to make music. Yeah. As soon as you smoke, you want to hear music. You want to. It's something about it.
It sounds so much better. It sounds so much better. It's like you just hear every little thing, man. It's
you can feel it.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. Well, we're pushing up on the time right now. That's about it for today with GMX. You got anything you want to tell everybody? Tell any and everybody?
Yeah, well, it's been a pleasure to be on the show. I mean, you can always find me on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at GMXOG. I'm on Twitter at G to the MX, and YouTube. You can go to gmxtv.com. You can find my YouTube link. And yeah, man, just want to shout out to the GMX testing team, Vader and Ocean Grown Seeds. Appreciate you guys.
Dope, man, dope. And we will have you back. Let me know when you get your studio all up, so you can join.
For sure. Looking forward to chopping it up with you guys again, man. Definitely.
And as you can see, I'm in the studio, so we definitely going to be working.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, man. I'm gonna talk to you too, Beastcoast, about the SFV. We'll talk about that too.
Oh yes, you know I was reaching out as soon as this was over.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's another great one. Last words from Frosty McNasty.
No, we're not done yet.
Oh, okay.
We're not all done yet. Just finishing up with GMX. So
Okay.
GMX, friend of the show now. We'll have you back on.
Oh, he'll always be
I
on.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. All right, man.
Enjoy.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.